Okay, good afternoon. We are Team PhotoRingceptor, made of me, Clive, Sarup, and Elgin. We are students from mechanical engineering in NTU, and we decided to work on the challenge statement where visually impaired people have faced difficulties looking at the capacity of their power banks, especially for those power banks that just use indicator lights to show 25%, 50%, 75%, this kind of things. So we created a prototype called PhotoRingceptor. PhotoRingceptor is made of a banger which houses various electric components. These include the light sensor, vibrator, and microprocessor. The microprocessor here used is a Arduino, but we've done our research. Smaller processors can be used too. For example, there's another model in the market called a Tiny Lily, which my group mate Sarup has been working on, and it seems like it can work. As you can see, the banger holds all the equipment. It will be covered with a hole for the light sensor to see outside. Yes, so this shows this is what PhotoRingceptor is with all the components housed inside. Please give me a moment. Is it escape? How do I go back? Apologies. Okay. Uh, is the MC there?
Oh,
Can't
okay.
see.
We'll help you. We'll take over and help you. You can go ahead with your presentation.
Okay, thanks. The reason a banger is used is to make the movement of using PhotoRingceptor more natural. This is so as to not draw unnecessary attention to users. This video here is supposed to show me giving an example of using it, but due to the technical error just now, I think I won't play it. The movement, as you can see from the picture over there, is supposed to be as natural as possible. PhotoRingceptor can let the user know what it sees, whether there's light, and if it's red, yellow, or green. The basic signal colors, you can say yes. Users can customize how they want PhotoRingceptor to feedback. It's just a matter of uploading new code. We've actually received feedback after testing out that instead of a more efficient way for PhotoRingceptor to feedback to users, so we can implement it for future usage. Yes, and for future developments, we aim to improve the material of PhotoRingceptor to be more comfortable and in line with other wrist-worn devices. For example, watches or fitness trackers provided by Health Promotion Board. We are also evaluating the use of LiPo batteries. These are rechargeable and have a longer life. However, to compare right now, we are using button batteries inside PhotoRingceptor, which can't really last long also. Adopting LiPo batteries, however, require additional rewiring of the circuit. So if all goes well, the banger should be able to be customized to fit its user's fashion. But this is a minor point, I feel. We have also given PhotoRingceptor for feedback. Admittedly, it is not ready to be released to the market yet. Our trial user has suggested that we make PhotoRingceptor adjustable to different wrist sizes, improve the color sensitivity, be able to sense flashing lights too, something we have not thought of, quite interesting, and to be able to easily locate where the color sensor is for easy usage. So yes, with that, I end my presentation. I'd like to thank Miss Elda, our mentor, Mr. Liner, who gave us his feedback, and Mr. Akmal for helping us to set up the prototype. Yes, there's supposed to be a big question mark over here. Is there any questions?
Okay, thank you for your presentation. Maybe one question I had was, what was your biggest challenge in creating this prototype? And yeah, maybe you can share with us like how you guys overcame these challenges.
Our biggest challenge is
So one thing that we definitely faced along the way was how to fit everything, because the device that we're planning to build, right, it has to encompass a lot of things. It doesn't just have to detect red, green, and blue. It has to account for different kinds of signal that come out of power bank. Secondly, it has to account for different kind of lighting conditions, so if, let's say, someone is trying to test a power bank in sunlight versus in indoor lighting or no lighting at all, these kind of different lighting sources, they confuse the sensitivity of the color sensor itself. So for that, we had to kind of constrict the opening of the color sensor that let in the light to the bangle. So that was one way we tried to overcome it. And as with any other product development, it also introduced some other problems, that because of the small opening, the aperture, we had to place the bangle more closer to the power bank. Then that was one thing that we in the future are going to work on the design more. And some other things were obviously fitting everything in a small space is a challenge. Right now, we're working with the bangle. In the future, as Clyde mentioned, we are working with smaller processors, and we hope to move from a bangle to a small ring that's even more inconspicuous and more useful for our brand users.
Thank you for sharing. I think the ring sounds like a very good idea. Maybe you could also share about what the most rewarding thing about this whole like development of this product was for your whole team.
Yeah, definitely. It goes without saying. I can say it on the behalf of both my teammates. It's for some good in the world. So that's the very rewarding aspect already. And speaking from a personal standpoint, I've grown in a community where my childhood best friend, whose house I grew up in half of the time, his brother was partially blind. So I kind of saw that kind of a life from a very young age. My mother used to take me to volunteering centers from a very young age. So I see how blessed I personally am, is to be blessed with everything that's all right with my body, and being able to use the education that I'm getting from the university. And I can say, I'm sure my teammates feel the same, being able to use that to really benefit these other members of the community and uplifting them to the same equity that we face in our life. It's already enough, fulfilling enough for us.
Thank you for sharing, and thank you for your whole team for doing your presentation. That's all the time we have now. So now we'll be moving on to our next team. So next up we have Singza, and let's see how they tackle the problem statement of missing persons with different neurological challenges. So yeah, you guys can take it away.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, can you hear? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gordon, and this is Rachel. We are from Team Sinzer, and we are students from Computer Engineering in Singapore Polytechnic. Today, we'll be presenting our wearable solution for the safety of children with autism spectrum disorder. Did you know 49% of children with autism have a tendency of straying away from their parents or guardians? Based on the research, after the age of 4, 49% of children with ASD attempted to elope at least once. And from age 4 to 7, 46% of children actually elope. And for ages 8 to 11, 27% of affected children elope. Our goal for this project is to help these young autism kids. Before we proceed, let me share a little story with you. We decided on this topic because of my friend's sibling story. He actually had autism, and when he was young, he ran away from his parents when they were at a Chinatown. He was missing for about 30 minutes, and that was enough to give his parents extreme anxiety. Hence, I researched to see if there are more people like him, and found out there are actually many similar cases. From listening to his experience, I realized that parents really care for their child's safety and well-being. Hence, we decided to create an affordable tracking watch, which will allow parents or guardians to track their children through an application. So, why would people rather buy our product than the many trackers out in the market today? Well, there are 4 main reasons. The first being our product is a third of their price, making it the cheapest in the market. Most of the tracking devices out there are over $100 or close to it. The second reason is the form of our tracker, which is a watch. After looking at the market for tracking devices, there are a lot of them not in the form of a wearable form for the child. This defeats the purpose of the device, as the child will not be holding on to the device when they elope. The third reason would be that our watch will not have a subscription cost, hence allowing our watch to be as cheap as possible, allowing lower income families to afford it. Last but not least, our watch is very user-friendly, allowing parents to easily use the application without much effort. So what does our product do? The first feature will be geolocation. Our watch will be able to sync with the parent's phone to allow them to see their child's location at all times in an Android application. The location tracking is able to track the child's location within a radius of 6 meters. The second feature is geofencing. The Android app allows parents to create an area which will inform them via notification in their phone when their child enters or leaves the area. This allows parents to be instantly informed when the child runs away from school or from a field trip. The third feature is fall detection. There will be a fall detection system in the watch which will inform the parents when their child has experienced a fall via notification in their phone. This will allow parents to know instantly that the child has experienced a fall and can swiftly inform the guardian of the child, such as the teachers, to find and help the child. Last but not least, the app will show the child past location up to a day in the app. Next, we'll be sharing how our tracking works. The device will retrieve the child's location using Google Geolocation API based on nearby Wi-Fi networks and not GPS. These coordinates and timestamp will be uploaded and stored securely in our Firebase database. Concurrently, the Android application will be polling the database for live updates and displaying the child's location marker. To add to this, we included a geofencing capability in our application. Parents can key in a desired address and radius to create a virtual perimeter around a physical location. When the child leaves the geofence area, the application will notify the parents. Likewise, when the child enters the geofence area, the application will also update them. To reduce the worries for children's safety for the parents, we created a fall detection system and link it to the application. The watch will constantly check the child's speed. If the child passes a certain point in speed, it will check the child's orientation and determine as a fall if the angle is 80 to 100 degrees. This will send the information to the Firebase, which will update the fall status to true, which will then be sent to the Android app. The Android app will then send a notification to the parents telling him that their child fell and to contact the guardian. Next, I'll be passing my time on to Vijay, who will be explaining how we created our prototype.
Right, thank you, Gordon. So firstly, we took some time to choose the correct components which can fit in a small footprint. We decided to go with the ESP32, a powerful microcontroller with many features. We also decided to add in a gyroscope sensor for tracking fall detection. After designing our circuit diagram, we connected both together and programmed it using Arduino IDE. Simultaneously, we also began to work on our mobile application using Android Studios. After both parts of the prototype has been completed, we set up the database, which stores the data and links both together. Next, we designed a 3D printed case using Fusion 360 to store the components securely and protect it from external elements such as water and dust. We use ABS material for the 3D print, which is biocompatible for permanent skin contact. And finally, we assembled our watch and ensured that all features are working as intended. So now, with our prototype in hand, we tested it out with Gordon's friend's sibling, his friend, and parents to get some feedback. The feedback was generally positive, with testers claiming that it was comfortable to wear and having a great experience using the application to track the location of the child. However, one disadvantage was the short battery life. So this brings us to our future developments. So firstly, we will ensure that the data stored in the database is secure so that it will not be used maliciously by unauthorized users. In order to improve our prototype, we also plan to make it even smaller and flatter so that it will be more comfortable for the wearer. We will also increase the battery life of the device based on the feedback we have received. Other developments include adding an affordable GPS module for redundancy purposes and role-based logins for different users such as teachers and guardians. With that, we thank you for your kind attention and we'll now move on to the Q&A section. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Maybe I can start off by asking one question. So, what do you guys think was like the most challenging part about making your prototype? Yeah, after coming up with your idea, was there like, or did COVID, like the COVID restrictions cause you any hardships in the process?
Right, so the COVID restrictions did bring some trouble because firstly our product is hardware, so most likely we have to meet up together to actually work on the prototype. However, we did some planning in advance first, so it kind of eased the process of how we are going to come out with it. But one of the most challenging parts of our prototype is actually the short battery life, because we wanted to make the device as small and compact as possible so that it can fit on a wrist like a watch. So at first we did sacrifice a bit of battery life. However, we gradually improved it with based on our coding, to optimize the code and make it more effective so that the battery would last slightly longer. But of course, that is still an area that we're looking to improve it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Maybe another question I had was, what was your biggest takeaway from working on this project? Maybe Gordon can answer this question.
Sure. I realized that how do I say this? Based on research, I realized that parents actually really care about the children, because after researching, I realized that a lot of child actually elope and parents actually spend hours upon hours to actually find them. Like in one of the article from Straits Times, a 14-year-old actually went missing for about 10 days. And the parent actually send Facebook Messenger, Instagram, and posters out, and the police also helped them, and they actually show the urgency of the parents to find the children. Yeah.
Okay, so your takeaway would be like about how important this solution is for the parents.
Yes. Yeah.
Right, okay. Okay, thank you for sharing. That's all the time we have for now.
Okay, thank
So
you.
thank you, Team Sing.